Okay, let's get started. So first, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today. We're definitely excited to have you here to discuss the power of product certifications and how they can help us connect with shoppers, as well as provide sightlines or insights into factors that are driving purchases and driving growth within certain product segments. But before we do that, I'll do some brief introductions. My name is Jake Knapper. I've been with Spins for about 12 years now, and am currently a data product manager with our product intelligence team. And I'm joined today by Elizabeth Svisco, our associate data product manager and all around guru when it comes to sustainability, considering her extensive research background. And she's quite passionate about educating others about whole food systems that build upon the resiliency of the planet. So we're definitely excited to have her here, sharing her insights and knowledge with us today. So today, Elizabeth and I are going to be discussing SPIN's product certification attributes. And while we do have some new certification attributes arriving with P10 data, before getting into those specifically, we just want to take a few minutes to talk to you a bit more about the topic of certifications in general, what they are, why they matter to shoppers, and thus why they are such an important asset to our brand and retail partners, and then how you can take informed action by leveraging them. So at the heart of this, and the reason we're here talking to you today is about Spins' dedication to powering your growth through data-informed action. So for the past 20 years, Spins has been on the front lines of the natural and health and wellness industry, building the most extensive and informative health and wellness data collections on the market. And all of it to provide you the information, the tools, the context, and the sight lines via best-in-class attribution to help power your growth. We're here to help you be actionable by creating tangible visibility to true shopper motivations and purchase drivers. And we're here to help you identify white space or opportunity to help push this industry forward, to push the mission of this industry forward through disruption and innovation. And going off of that concept, we have a single and fairly straightforward question. What product qualities are being sought by shoppers? And over the past 20 years, Spin's data has shown a major incline towards conscious consumption. Shoppers are looking for products that make an impact. They want products that have an impact on their health and wellness, their ability to live a better and more vibrant life. They want to ensure that their purchases have a positive impact on the environment. They're demanding improvements within animal agriculture and seeking products from brands that hold themselves accountable for their producers, farm workers, and employees, everyone across the entire supply chain, and ensuring that they are treated with respect, dignity, and the benefits and pay that properly reflect the work and effort that they provide. But maybe those qualities can be hard to find or decipher at the point of purchase. And even if the brand is communicating something like, earth friendly, it could be hard to trust, especially with that kind of vague language, with nothing to actually verify or back up what is a very important quality to the shopper. It's kind of like saying earth friendly. Well, okay, but prove it. Shoppers understand the nature of a competitive marketplace and how that can lead to overzealous communication of a brand's actual qualities. And in a sense, the shopper's been conditioned to be a skeptic. And that is exactly what certifications exist for. They exist to provide trust, verification, transparency, even authenticity to each and every purchase for these conscious consumers. Certifications quite literally put a stamp on the product in the form of a recognizable, unique logo that says to the shopper, we have standards, we make those standards transparent, and these standards have been met. This product is what it says it is, and you can be assured, you can feel good and confident that you have something authentic, you have something verified in your basket, and you can trust it. So that shopper requirement of tangible standards coupled with transparency and verification is what certifiers are all about. As we mentioned, certification, they're typically born out of uncertainty or lack of regulation around an important product quality. Also another angle to this is that many certifications' mission is to reflect product elements that cannot be easily measured or verified with other information found on the label. This is why popular sustainability topics, supply chain accountability, as well as dietary components that can be impossible to decipher or understand at the point of purchase are often some of the most popular and successful certifications. So by leveraging transparency and trust, built on the back of real standards like lab testing, independent assessments, reviews, and analysis, certifications are able to be activated in the marketplace in a highly meaningful and purposeful way. They represent differentiation. They represent authenticity. They become a premium component of a product that shoppers prioritize along their journey. Additionally, they bring advocacy to certain products. Certifications promote their values, they educate shoppers, and this helps drive shoppers to kind of quote unquote seek the seal. It's a quick and easy visual cue that makes it easier for shoppers to confidently place items in their basket that align with their needs or ideals. And when it comes to our own certification attribute offering, we want to incorporate that kind of spirit, that layer of trust. And the certification attributes that we make visible throughout our data ecosystem come directly from the certifiers themselves. We are partnering directly with the certifier, and that certifier is telling us what products are receiving a particular certification mark. So in this way, we're operating within that spirit of trust and verification that certifiers themselves leverage, and ensuring our own attribution retains those important qualities. So when you're leveraging SPIN's data, you're then able to combine these critical certification attributes with other key product qualities found both on and off the label. Everything from SPIN's own unique brand positioning values that help define key marketplace segments to clean label ingredient insights and trending diets like plant-based or keto. So bringing this all together, it helps us identify opportunities, it helps us identify threats, and home in on key purchase motivations for shoppers in a completely unique way. We're enriching retail data with this best-in-class attribution to help better understand and help you get out in front of today's quickly evolving, fast-paced marketplace. So why do certifications matter to us? And why do they matter to brands and retailers? So in a nutshell, there is a lot of power behind those certification logos, and retailers can tap into that power by being a shopper solution, using our certification attributes to help connect shoppers to the products they seek, the products that align with their core values and needs. And maybe that's accomplished through improved e-com filters or by leveraging these attributes to create a more personalized online shopping experience. And on top of it, these attributes can help retailers uncover or identify new assortment opportunities and help put more feet in each aisle by focusing on underserved categories or areas of the store. And for brands, leveraging these certification attributes will help identify white space opportunity, help understand shopper motivations in certain categories, or uncover shopper trend themes, and more importantly, to simply understand the impact of certifications, whether or not it's something that represents high or low impact on shopper motivation in your particular category or segment, thus understanding your shopper in a much better way. But at the end of the day, this is all about creating more unique insights and extra value, creating more aha moments and more light bulb scenarios that really help drive and further grow your business, a value that only SPINS can provide. Okay, and with that, let's take a look at the types of certifications that SPINS is providing today. And on this next slide, here's a list of all of our certifications and the various themes or buckets that might be useful when leveraging these attributes through the lens of shopper motivation. Everything from environmental sustainability, social and economic sustainability, to health and nutrition or ways of eating. Think back to that conscious consumer slide. Our certification offering is covering those four bases, good for health, good for the planet, good for animals, and good for people. We're aligning our offering to ensure we're providing coverage on product qualities that shoppers, thus you, will care most about. And with that, I'll hand it off to Elizabeth, who's going to break down these themes or buckets a bit more holistically and tell us how they can impact shoppers, brands, and retailers.
Okay, so let's dive into sustainability as a whole. Sustainability is an extremely complex concept, and a number of universities and organizations have attempted to define it. Something that all of these definitions involve in their core message is the ability for people to meet their needs in the present time without compromising the ability of those in the future to do the same. So this definition is broad, but true sustainability will focus on the vitality and resilience of the three pillars of environmental, social, and economic vigor. So when it comes to sustainability, it's often an extremely tedious and cumbersome task to ensure that as a shopper, you're really selecting products from brands and companies that are supporting a mission you believe in. In fact, 88% of shoppers would like brands to help them be more environmentally friendly and ethical. This is because it isn't always an easy task for shoppers to recognize if companies are putting time and effort into priorities such as providing fair wages to their workers, managing farm soils so that they maintain a healthy microorganism ecosystem, or providing consumers with access to their products at affordable prices. So a certification such as Demeter Biodynamic provides transparency between farmers and consumers from that whole farm to table system so that shoppers can support biodynamic agricultural systems. SPINS' partnerships with sustainability-based certifiers allows SPINS to provide top market insights to brands and retailers so that they're able to understand if and also how drastically sustainability concerns are driving sales trends throughout the natural product industry. So it has been found that 70% of shoppers will pay more money for sustainable products. And SPINS can determine which areas of sustainability specifically are driving the most sales growth, while they can also determine what types of products are being successful. For example, is majority of sustainability sales drawn from non-GMO products or from fair trade products? Another example is, are fair trade product sales dramatically increasing across all categories, or is there a focus on tea and coffee? These types of insights allow brands to shift their focuses towards potential new ingredient sourcing, ingredient quality, or even increasing their involvement in social concerns such as the protection and preservation of rainforest and diversity of species. At the same time, this certification data can help retailers determine what products to stock their shelves with and what brands to highlight in their stores to help support this nationwide or worldwide cause. As people worldwide have become more and more aware of this diverse web of topics that contribute to sustainability as a whole, a spotlight has really been shown on this specific area, which is social and economic sustainability. So, social sustainability encompasses topics such as human health, education, and community support, while on the other hand, economic sustainability will touch on things like job support, the price of goods, supply and demand, and also government incentives. So, for example, Cliff Bar and Company uses very environmentally friendly packaging. They transport their goods in ways that don't pollute the earth, but they also go above and beyond to volunteer in the community, donate to those in need, provide health and wellness programs for their employees to engage in, and then they also help create job opportunities for a very diverse population. So 90% of consumers say that it's extremely important for them that brands take care of their employees and that they treat them well. Social and corporate responsibility certifications, such as B Corp, can really flex their muscle where sustainability differentiation is more difficult or scarce. So the B Corporation focuses on topics such as reducing inequality, lowering poverty rates, and creating high-quality jobs with dignity and purpose. So these types of standards are difficult, if not impossible, for a shopper to evaluate for the brands that they love and support without the help of certifications such as Certified B Corp. For example, Meliora Cleaning Products, which is a company based in Chicago, partners with 1% of the Planet, Women's Voices for the Earth, and then the Chemical Footprint Project, while they also obtain 3 certifications and they fight to reduce manufacturing waste by 10% each year. These efforts are validated and stamped on products to give shoppers a peace of mind when they're choosing from a colorful variety of cleaning supplies. Specifically for B Corp certified products, we have seen a 22% increase in sales for supplements and a 19% increase in sales for general merchandise in our naturally enhanced channels over the past year. Consumers are not only looking to fuel their bodies with sustainably sourced food and beverage products, but they're also looking to locate cleaning products and body care products that are produced with similar missions and values in place. Brands and retailers are diligently working to make a difference in the world, but consumer decisions are ultimately what's going to dictate social, economic, and environmental sustainability outcomes. Okay, lastly, we are going to look at health and nutrition certifications. So, nutrition and overall wellness are topics that are very near and dear to consumers' hearts. The decisions that we make daily about what we do and do not want to put into our bodies are ultimately going to lead to physical and mental outcomes that shape who we are and how we function. Therefore, it's necessary for brands and retailers to be conscious of and to tailor their offerings towards a wide variety of diets and audiences. Shoppers strive for easily navigable environments where they can really pinpoint products that are in line with their needs. This can be extraordinarily complicated as product labels become more and more cluttered with lengthy messages, convoluted label claims, and intricate ingredient names that we often end up Googling to understand. This is where health and nutrition certifications can really lend a hand and help solidify these shopping decisions efficiently. 95% of consumers seek out healthy items at a grocery store, but only 28% say that it's easy for them to find these products. It should not be a stressful situation for shoppers to manage a healthy lifestyle, and they really deserve to feel confident stepping foot into a grocery store. If someone were having friends over for dinner and their friends were following a plant-based diet, but they had little to no knowledge about what goes into this diet, they could easily locate a certified plant-based seal on products that would give them that confidence and that extra push that they need to both purchase and prepare this item for their guests without having to worry about the details. Another example could be if you're trying to support a friend or a family member who is working to maintain or improve their heart health. You could look for items that have the American Heart Association certification on them, and that would guarantee that the products are held to a very high standard and that things such as total fat, trans fat, or sodium are being taken into account, along with fiber content, food processing methods, or vitamin levels. Consumers really want to know that they're doing their best to support their personal health along with the health of their families. All right, now that we have a basic understanding of what certifications are, why they're so important, and how SPINS actually partners with these organizations to support brands and retailers, let's go ahead and dive into our 4 newest certifications. As Jake mentioned, these partnerships will further enhance our ability to visualize the impact of modern diets and sustainability parameters on shopper trends and retail decisions. Among these 4 seals that you may recognize here are 2 sustainability-based and 2 diet or lifestyle-based certifications. Furthest to the left, the DETOX project released a glyphosate residue-free certification. Next to that, the Marine Stewardship Council released a sustainable seafood certification, and both of these will focus on the safe, efficient, and environmentally friendly production of agricultural crops and marine life, with the ultimate goal of improving the resiliency of the planet and providing consumers with nutritious, high-quality products. The remaining 2 certifications on the right include Certified Plant-Based and then Certified Grain-Free by the PALEO Foundation. So whether a shopper is looking to follow a specific diet regimen for health and wellness reasoning, animal welfare support, or environmental advocacy, these certifications will really aid consumers in locating transparent and trusted brands that align with their nutritional needs and their personal values alike. All right, so first off, let's learn a little bit more about the DETOX project. So the DETOX project was started back in 2015 by a man of the name of Henry Rollins, who grew up fully immersed in the realm of sustainable agriculture and sustainable rangeland management. He grew up on a sheep farm in Wales and starting at a very young age was exposed to this. His ultimate goal through the DETOX project is to increase transparency in both the food and supplement industries regarding toxic chemicals. So more specifically, his focus is on glyphosate, which is the most widely used pesticide in America, with 1.8 million tons of this chemical having already been applied to the earth since its origination in 1974. So glyphosate is usually used to control weeds on a larger scale system. So in large agricultural systems that are trying to be cost efficient and that know that this type of chemical really works and is really going to make their fields weed free. Though the EPA does consider glyphosate to be of no risk to human health when used according to the label instructions, it has stirred up a bit of controversy and speculation over the years. So, more than 42,000 people have filed suit against Monsanto, and Monsanto is the original creators of glyphosate. And the people that have filed suit have alleged that exposure to this chemical has led to the development of cancer. Numerous other studies have also highlighted health risks such as negative fertility outcomes, development of liver disease, and then also microbiome disruption due to exposure to this chemical. So beyond human health, glyphosate also has been a target of concern for those that are trying to improve environmental sustainability. So agroecosystems are incredibly disrupted by glyphosate. Pesticides actually destroy the dynamic communities of living organisms within the soil. And these living organisms work very diligently to capture carbon from the atmosphere and have done so for hundreds of millions of years. So without a thriving and healthy soil ecosystem, regenerative farming is essentially impossible. The DETOX project's glyphosate residue-free certification ensures that products do not contain glyphosate, and it can be applied to food products, but then also animal food products as well. And companies undergo very extensive lab testing in order to ensure that their products are truly free from this pesticide. This certification has grown about 58% and is especially prevalent in categories such as refrigerated plant-based milks, shelf-stable oils and vinegars, and then also refrigerated juices. The reason for this is because this certification proves that the ingredients going into these products, such as almonds for almond milk or canola for canola oil, are not being sprayed at all with glyphosate during their field production. So as you can see here, about $55 million in sales volume is tied to glyphosate residue-free refrigerated plant-based milk. The next certification partnership that I really want to highlight is with the Marine Stewardship Council. So MSC is a nonprofit organization that strives to improve marine environments by recognizing and rewarding sustainable fisheries, expanding sustainable seafood markets as a whole, and then also building public awareness about sustainable fishing methods. So what does it mean for a fishery to be truly sustainable? First of all, overfishing has become a really large issue, and this started back in the 1990s and has led to the loss of fishing jobs, the collapse of coastal communities, and then also detrimental reductions in both availability and diversity of aquatic species. This is primarily due to issues such as illegal fishing and then also destructive fishing practices. And by destructive, I mean things such as cyanide fishing or the use of explosives. Sustainable fishing is measured by looking at, number one, are there enough fish in the ocean? Number two, is fishing activity managed so that species and habitats remain truly healthy? And then number three, do operations comply with laws and adapt to changing environmental circumstances? The Marine Stewardship Council works to support the 10% of our global population that earns a living from fisheries, along with also the 3.3 billion people globally who get at least 30% of their daily animal protein intake from fish. Therefore, job security, food security, and environmental security are all greatly impacted by sustainable fishing. Climate change and increases in ocean temperatures have led to a predicted 40% decline in potential seafood catch by the year 2050. Therefore, this is even more crucial and even more essential for consumers to truly understand and work to improve. The Marine Stewardship Council uses the fisheries certifications process to ensure that organizations are supporting the diversity of fish stocks, minimizing environmental impacts, and then also effectively managing their fisheries to adapt to climate change. So all MSC certified seafood is from sustainable sources. It's fully traceable completely through the supply chain. And then it also ensures that the seafood is wild caught from oceans, lakes, or rivers worldwide. This blue seal has grown about 19% over the past 52 weeks and is prevalent in categories including shelf-stable meat, poultry, and seafood, frozen and refrigerated meat, poultry, and seafood, and then also food supplements. And food supplements would be things like fish oil or krill oil. Unlike glyphosate, conventional brands are really leveraging this certification. So they're actually commanding 64% of sales volume associated with this certification. This speaks volumes to the mission of MSC and really shows how they've managed to convince shoppers and brands alike of the importance of their mission. Okay, the next certification that we're going to go over is actually the first ever certified plant-based seal, and this was released by the Plant-Based Food Association. So as the plant-based movement has taken off and begun to attract audiences across the board for reasons such as weight loss, environmental sustainability, animal welfare, and then also the disease-fighting capabilities of plants, more and more products are really being labeled as plant-based. The Plant-Based Foods Association created a plant-based seal to help ensure shoppers that products are being completely transparent with them through their labeling and their marketing tactics. So, for example, terms such as milk or meat or cheese have been used for years to describe meat and dairy products in the food and beverage industry, and they've received little to no scrutiny. But as plant-based product innovation has reached new heights and broken new grounds, controversy has stemmed from consumer confusion regarding the labeling of these products. And some examples of this are products such as plant-based milks or plant-based meats. The Plant-Based Foods Association has released standards for plant-based milks, meats, and yogurts to help us standardize that language and to help define these common terms that people may be confused about. So these standards help ensure that brands are properly labeling their products, and they also help increase consumer education about the subject as a whole. So this certification gives shoppers a peace of mind when they're seeking out food and beverage products that comply with their diet. This certification can especially be useful when looking at products that are alternatives to meat, poultry, or dairy because it will prove that a product is not a plant and animal blend of some sort, and then also that it's not an entirely animal-based product after all that may be deceiving based on labeling or packaging or terminology that's used. So certified plant-based products have increased in sales by 46% over the past year, which further supports nationwide awareness of the importance of a plant-forward diet. Okay, lastly, we are going to review the Paleo Foundation's grain-free certification. So the grain-free certification goes beyond the well-known gluten-free certification to really highlight products that do not contain any grains at all. So this includes both grains and pseudograins. So these would be things such as oats, rice, corn, or even buckwheat. And it also goes further to also capture grain derivatives, and this would be things such as corn syrup. So one reason for a grain-free certification is to support the paleo diet. So the paleo diet is based on eating in ways that humans did during the Paleolithic era. And this means that their diet was focused on things such as lean meats, fruits and veggies, fish, and then nuts and seeds. Therefore, dairy products, legumes, grains, and then also really highly processed ingredients are not included in this paleo diet. This certification makes life extremely easy for those following a paleo diet by helping them identify products that do not contain any grain ingredients or derivatives. And it allows them to not have to stand there and scour the label in the grocery store to try and determine if ingredients are compliant or not with their diet. So, reasonings behind the paleo diet could be things such as weight loss, glucose tolerance, blood pressure control, or also appetite management. And a survey from the year 2018 estimated that about 3 million Americans were following a paleo diet, which means that there's certainly a need for a tool like this to help ease shopper stress. Other shoppers may also be cutting out grains for other reasons outside of the paleo diet. So this could be things like reducing inflammation in their bodies or just working to improve their digestion as a whole. So ingredient auditing, lab testing, and an overall compliance review all go into the solidification of a certified grain-free product. With modern product innovation for generally grain-based products, such as breads and crackers and desserts, it means that this certification can really highlight those innovative products that may look like they are grain products, but are not, such as things that are made from almond flour or coconut flour or even vegetables. So products bearing this grain-free certification have increased in sales by about 6% over this past year.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. And before we end today, I just want to do a quick recap. And that's just a reminder that all of our attributes have the power to uncover new insights and discoveries for both brands and retailers. And if you'd like to learn more, please contact your SPINS representative or send us a note at growth@spins.com. All right, and that's all we have today. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We really appreciate it, and we hope to hear from you soon.